Yes, and also for the people in the live stream, I would like to welcome you to our interview here today at AVL Mundo, which is Joep's space. The mic is is running a bit, so I would like to tell the technical guy that. I have on my left Hans Lensvelt from Lensvelt. I have there Joep van Lieshout, I have Christy Wright from Mooi, and I have Bülent Jokus from Weltevree. Thank you for being here. We had some conversations beforehand, and let's find out why we are actually here. Hans, you invited us because we had a nice conversation during Glue Amsterdam. We are in Rotterdam now, Rotjeknor, Roffa, and well, tell me, why are we here?
So a lot of good things are going on in Rotterdam as the opening of the depot of Boijmans van Beuningen, and we also have this fair here. Design district.
Design district, yes.
Design district, and that there are all tremendous good energies. And I thought, now maybe we should support that. Maybe we should something off-site simultaneous. And of course, Joep's place is quite central here.
You have to speak in the mic, otherwise nobody can hear you.
Okay, so Joep's place here is quite central. So I called Joep. I said, Joep, shall we organize an event? And Joep said, yeah, I think it's a good idea. And then on a Friday night, I thought maybe we should take it a little bit wider. You know, I like cooperations. So I called Bülent. I said, at first I called Joep. I said, Joep, maybe we should also invite Mooi, and we also should invite Weltevree. So I called Joep, and Joep said, yes, tremendous idea. And one minute later I called Bülent, and he said, actually that sounds as a great idea. And then I called Robin, the director of Mooi, and he was enthusiastic too. And then I wrote this email in which I copied everybody in. It's only something like 2 weeks ago, and now we are here.
Yes, and then Christy, you are sitting there. Why do you come to this moment and talk to us? You know, what's the reason that you are here?
Well, I'm lucky to be here tonight, and Marcel Wanders sends his regards, of course. But we're here, I think, to celebrate all the wonderful years of collaboration with Joep. And Mooi has been working with Joep since almost the beginning. I think like 16 years now, and really super proud of like the work that we've done together. And also, he's a very special part of the collection of designers that Mooi represents.
Now, what do you think he's really adding to the design field?
Well, to the design field, I would not necessarily label him as a designer, but I think within like the portfolio of Mooi, he's very special because he defines all categories, and he's the rare person in our collection of people. And actually, I moved to the Netherlands because here I think there's no boundaries. You know, you have a really great idea, and you execute that idea, and you don't label it in certain categories. And you were the role model for that principle.
Okay, so put that in your heart, Joep. and Bülent, Weltevree also has a design from Joep in the collection. Why did you ask him to work with you?
Well, it was quite funny. It started, I think, 3-4 years ago. We met each other at Art Rotterdam, and it was a chit-chat about a project we did, and we were thinking about our outdoor kitchen, outdoor bar. We have mostly outdoor products. And then we said, okay, let's have a meeting in 1 or 2 weeks, and then we had another talk about the idea for outdoor bar. Normally we have ovens, barbecues, but you want to extend that part of the garden with a kitchen or a bar. And we hoped, we were so happy with having Joep working for us. I said, okay, let me have a think, and then we had another meeting, and it was not the outdoor kitchen, but it was eventually the Flying Dishman, so it was a day bed,
yes.
Totally other product. But
So wait, so you asked him, and then he just randomly comes with a Flying Dutchman? Or?
Yeah, that was not our question. Make outdoor kitchen for us, or but it was the idea. We were just having a good talk about being outdoors, and it started from that point. But it's an adventure to work with Joep.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
I heard it's quite an adventure because Hans, you told me how your adventures hit it off, and it's still an ongoing adventure, I presume.
Yeah.
Could you just give us one example of what kind of adventures you guys have?
Yeah, now the most beautiful is probably the skull, I guess. So now offices are changing. And in those days, in 2004, I lived in China, and the first man who came to visit me was Joep. And the first days in China, I felt very lonely, so I was very happy that Joep came. And we had a lot of things to experience, all the new food, what we never had. And the 2 weeks before Joep came, I said, offices are changing. Maybe so those in the Netherlands in 2004, the offices were in a certain dimension, always 2 people were working in there. And they were disappearing, and there were more open space offices. And I thought maybe it would be good when we would develop a cabin where people can concentrate. And I asked Joep to design that. 2 weeks before he came, he sent me a drawing. It was made on the floor of a KLM 747. It was a photo made with a camera, with a photo camera. In those days, you did not have that on your telephone. I sent it to a Chinese guy, and he made a model out of stones, out bricks, and from that he made that skull. And actually, that was we were selling 4 or 5 a year, so that's quite nice. And then at a certain moment, Joep asked me, Hans, I have an exhibition 2 years later in the Boijmans van Beuningen. And he said, I'm running out of art. Do you still have that example? Yeah. I said, yes, of course, Joep, I have it. And of course, you can have it for free. And it was showed in not on the Boijmans, it was in Otterlo. Krullenmuller it was, yes. And later, Joep told me that it was sold for 60,000 euros to an Italian art collector. And with this, I think it's proven that art is robbery.
Okay, very clear, very clear. And was it the whole idea that you would get it for free there and then sell it there? What was the agreement here?
I think Hans is exaggerating a little bit.
Oh, really? Could you maybe give the microphone to you, because I want to talk to you. Because we've been talking about you, and you didn't say a word yet. How does it feel if people talk about you like that?
Yeah, that's a little bit strange, especially because it's my studio. I'm sitting on my chairs. I'm sitting in the middle with people I work with, so I'm a little bit shy. But it's also very nice, and I think what we share with all the 3 brands partners is that we work on a very human way together. So it's not very formal. It's more like you meet each other, you talk, you say, do you have an idea for this and that? We make a sketch, or normally we make a prototype. I'm not someone that spends a lot of time behind the computer, but I think I'm much faster. I don't have the patience for computer, that's it. So I'm much faster just to make a prototype like this. So we make this in an afternoon, and then you look at it and you say, yeah, it's nice, or it's not nice. And then, well, in this case, we spoke to Hans and he said, yeah, it's great. And then we start making it. So the way how we collaborate is very human, it's very fast as well, there is very little boundaries.
No nonsense.
And the same with Weltevrij and Mooi. So, and I think this is not very common in that world.
But Christy, is it always that smooth? I mean, it's just like, okay, we have an idea, and then we think it should look like this and this and that, and we try to develop it a little bit, and then...
Well, for sure in the case of Joep's work, it's very direct. I mean, what you say, it's very spontaneous and fast, and I know you talk a lot with Marcel, so Marcel and Joep are just texting back and forth, and then it goes very quickly. And also there's a lot of respect for you and your work, but if you look at the Liberty Lounger, for example, that was from a project of Joop, and he had made already the chair, and Marcel just said, I like it, and then we produced it in a different material. So that's as direct as I think it can get.
Yeah, indeed, very often the designs are like an offspring of an art project, an installation or an exhibition that I'm doing. So it's really the factor coincidence is always very important.
But can you tell me, if a collaboration in 1 + 1 is 3, if it is a success, then what do you bring to the table apart from each other? So what do you bring in the collaboration?
Well, I make the prototype normally, and then I pull my hands off, and then the whole process, which is actually quite complicated, to have it produced in the industry, to have it distributed, to have it transported, to have it built, and that's the work that I'm very happy that I don't have to deal with that. So this is very good. So normally when I make the sculptures, I am carrying that weight on my back as well, to store it, to produce it, to sell it, and to bring it back. So that's very nice of collaborating with the industry.
Yeah, okay, thank you. But Bülent, maybe do you dare to give us an example that actually something wasn't a success? You know, not everything can always go that right?
Not with you, but yeah, that's we have more examples. It's really hard to force a designer into a small, how do you say, opdracht?
Assignment?
Yeah, exactly. That's too difficult. You are struggling with that, and then it doesn't work. Just as Joop said, it always starts with a conversation. When you have the notice, you have a common interest in a subject, in an idea, then it grows. Sometimes it takes 3 months, 6 months, sometimes for years, but you have in the basic, you have a common interest, and then it's becoming really exciting. But when you say to a designer, that's what we don't do anymore, to ask him or her, please make this for us, then it has always to start with the idea, and that idea doesn't start with, can you do this for me? We don't believe in that.
Okay, that's very clear. Yeah, we had a very nice conversation about intuition, I think. Yeah. We were talking, and then you said, well, maybe people find Hans and me, and maybe even the people from Mooi quite fast people, you know, in it for the money. While I actually see it differently, because when I think of Hans and of our company and Mooi, we really put the design and the designer first. This is really no concessions are being made. We really want the designer to decide what is it going to be. But how does it work? Because your intuition is business. I mean, I think intuition is not just a feeling. I think it's also knowledge you have in your mind, right? So you know intuitively this is going to be a success, or at least most of the time. But if designers have such a different feeling, you know, following their heart, how do you deal with this? How do you bring them towards your way of, putting it into the market?
Yeah, that's. I think it starts with following the designer, following the idea. And from my point of view, from my discipline, I'm always taking care of, okay, but can it also be successful? And the cost, can we do this? Can we produce it? Can we make it? Because otherwise, if I follow just a designer and I don't take my part of it, it might be a fantastic adventure and we will go to the moon, but stuck there and never come back. And that's the thing what's important. If you can strengthen each other in the disciplines, then it can be a nice result.
Yeah, well, thank you. We were talking about sustainability. Of course, these days you can almost not talk about or think about this. And you told me that your way of thinking about sustainability is to make products that last, last forever. And I truly believe in relationships that last. I think that brings forward successful stories that actually indeed have a lifeline, a longer lifeline. In these days, what do you find challenging when it comes to sustainability? What triggers you?
Well, what I'm always interested is the sustainability, but then from really from how they say it, from the mine to like the whole process of the mining, the transporting, and the life cycle of the thing. So for me, if it's about sustainability, it's not only by using a certain material or certain technique, it's like the whole process. So I think it should be, I see it in a very scientific, technological way. And this was also very nice to work with Lensvelt, because they are very, very, very aware of the materials they use, how it can be recycled, how it's produced, and that's we spent a lot of time in finding the right material, which is basically recycled plastic, I think fishing nets and bottles. So there was a large part of the whole process.
Yeah, and in what way does this long-lasting relationship contribute to finding the right material, making the right choices? Do you find time? You take your time to make these choices, or is this also a very fast process?
No. That was actually the most time-consuming part, to find the right material, to find it strong enough, to find that it's a beautiful surface. Yeah, that was the biggest challenge, I think.
Well, I don't know if everybody can hear us. We are also hearing a lot of noise from the back. I think we almost have to come to the ending of the interview. But Hans, can you maybe take the mic from you? From you? Yeah, I have to keep this. Otherwise, it's a bit complicated.
Sorry for that. Yes.
No problem.
Yeah.
Hans, I said, well, let's have fun. Why is it important for you to have fun?
Actually, that's the life of Joep and myself, you know. So as Joep said, we are very serious in developing those products. Don't forget that. And we really want to have a perfect product, wonderful made, no pollution, recyclable. We are very serious in that. But yeah, so sometimes I go to those designer talks in Milan, or I see a live stream, two designers talking with each other. And in my opinion, it's a lot of pretending, and it's a lot making it very scientifically. And yeah, you know, the cooperation with Joep is more practical, more focused on the result.
Almost, when you were talking during the Glue Amsterdam interview, you were almost talking about a romantic relationship, you know? It's like,
beautiful.
Oh, really? like there's a lot of love between the two of you.
Yeah.
What is the love here?
Recently I was reading about friendship between men and friendship between women. According to this article in this newspaper, it was totally different. I think it's based on trust. Trust. We really trust each other.
And why do you trust each other?
Because the experience, Joep has never disappointed me, and I hope that I never disappointed Joep too.
Let's give him the mic. So, Joep, now this is a strange position. You are holding the mic. You have three really nice brands next to you. Your clients, I can also say, your collaborators. Really, do they never disappoint you?
No, actually not. No. I always like to collaborate. I like the result of the collaboration. We always have a lot of fun, and there's never been stress about this is not possible, or this is too expensive, or we cannot do that. We don't like it.
Can you imagine that there are maybe designers at home listening and Instagram and thinking, well, we sometimes have struggles with them. Is it because you have you have a certain legacy, or why do you think that you have this beautiful process with them?
Yeah, many things in my life go very well because I have a very bad memory. So I always look at the present and the future, and then whatever was behind me, I really
Okay, I
forget
need
about it.
that. I really need that gift. Because when everything is recorded and you make mistakes, you know, people, yeah, it gets to your mind. So hopefully maybe one time we meet and then I say, well, you know what you did there? That was a bit off. But Joep, you said to me, I really need to get into that bathtub. Wel tevreden.
Yeah, I've been working very hard today. I'm very dirty, as you see.
Yeah, because you're still, the workshop is behind
The
here.
workshop is behind this wall, yeah.
And you're still on the floor making all these things as an atelier
Absolutely,
release
that's what I love the most. And that's for
what you do
me
the most.
very important as well, to be very in close contact with the materials, the tools and the final product. And because if it's not really good and you have to sweat for it, you get dirty from it, it's not really good. There's this little voice that in your back of your head says, no, you have to do it differently. And if you are more remote from the production process, then you say, okay, I do something else now. So you lose this contact.
Yeah, so they give you the space to really be in your space.
Yes.
And then make the decisions remotely, based on trust, based on the knowledge that you all share, and that comes success. Okay, well, thank you for sharing all these stories. The noise is getting up.
Yeah.
I think everybody just wants beer, right? Just wine and food, especially food. And you need to get naked into the bathtub.
I have to get naked, but we all have to get naked because there is a couple of bathtubs and bathrobes and towels, because outside there is two beautiful Wel tevreden hot tubs.
Okay, and in the near future, what will we see from you? Just one word. Near future. What will you be doing?
Yeah, that's difficult on that very in a few words to answer, you know. But I'm at the end of my
One
career.
word.
Eh?
I said one word.
Quasimodo.
Quasimodo. Okay.
I want to live as Quasimodo in the warehouse of Joep, you know.
Okay, so stay tuned, people. Quasimodo on the left. Joep, give the mic to you.
I want to become a hobby artist.
A hobby artist. But you told me you want to work with IKEA.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, exactly. Okay.
And what else? Oh yeah, I would like to give some, make a little advertisement. So next week, opening next Saturday and Sunday, I have a show in Amsterdam at Ron Manders Gallery.
Oh
where
yeah,
I
Ron
built a
Manders
whole
Gallery.
Hospital and
Okay.
a dental surgery space.
Very much of these times.
Very interesting, yes.
Okay, so next week back in Amsterdam, Rotterdam audience. And then we have Christy at Mooi. What's the future?
Well, if I can use more than one word like these guys did, but we're working on really exciting concept for Milan, which is bringing the physical and the digital together, and we're going to have an extraordinary exhibit there, so very exciting developments happening these few months.
Okay, so Milan as in Milan Week, or?
Yes, Salona.
Yes, okay, thank you. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And you?
Hello.
Yes, wait, we need a mic here.
This one. Oh, it doesn't work as well. I want a collaboration with Hans. Both. Okay, I want a
Both.
collaboration
Yes,
with
very
Hans.
good.
But let's take the bath outside.
Yeah, let's go into the bath. Thank you. Big round of applause for our speakers today. Enjoy the evening. And also a big round of applause for Bas, for the technique. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.